That's it. We're done with these rats. They won't harm anyone else.
All these dead people.
You'll have to get used to it, lass. You seem to attract this kind of thing. Are those your belongings I see there? Look, this is interesting.
That belongs to me! It was in the things that were stolen from me.
A ring engraved with the crowned stag? That's the royal sigil. How in the seven hells did you get your hands on something so valuable?
King Robert gave it to me, before I was sent north.
The king? Why did he give you such a gift?
I knew Robert when he joined a hunting party in the Stormlands, not far from where I was living.
Now let's be clear, lass. That's still no reason for him to give you a jewel like that.
Let's just say that Robert was extremely fond of me.
Are you telling me that you were his mistress? And it never crossed your mind to tell me?
He doesn't even know that I'm here. He can barely remember me.
Do you think that's why those soldiers are after you?
That may well be. But given that you've killed them, they don't have much chance to explain themselves.
Fine. There's nothing left for us to do here. You can make your way home, Patrick. Take Watt and Miles with you.
You're not coming with us?
No, we're going south. I still need to take the young lass to safety. You've done well, Patrick. Let's have more of the same at the wall.
Be sure to return to us alive, Moors. Farewell, brother.
Given the situation, wouldn't it be better if he stayed with us?
The fewer there are of us, the less attention we will attract.
It's a shame. I'm almost going to miss him. Which way are we going?
I have to get you out of harm's way before we finish the task Mormont entrusted me with. I won't be able to settle matters with Valar with you under my feet. And I know the perfect place for you in the Riverlands. That's enough chatting for now. We have quite a march ahead of us, and I'm planning on covering a fair distance before we set camp. It's milder, and the ground is more fertile. We're entering the Riverlands. You've marched well, young lass.
Who do you think I am? I'm not one of those noble ladies that gets carted around in a carriage, you know. And anyway, you keep up a good pace yourself, for an old man.
Well, I'll always be stronger than a lass like you, believe me.
No doubt. It's clear enough from the way you fight. Not that I don't have anything to complain about. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't say no to a hot bath and a proper bed right now.
Tonight or tomorrow, we shall sleep under a roof.
Really? Are we nearly there, then?
We're going to my place. The Westford family had a remote cottage, unknown to anyone in these parts. At the end of the war, when I joined the Night's Watch, that was where I sent my wife Serena and my daughter Tyre to keep them out of harm's way.
Why was that? Were your family in danger?
At the time, I was a bannerman for Tywin of House Lannister. He was a demanding lord, generous with those who served him well, and harsh on others. He had ordered me to murder a woman and her children. I couldn't bring myself to do it, and chose to disobey his orders. I knew he would want me dead after that. But I was ready for it. I was awaiting my punishment when a friend convinced me that my family would be better off if they knew I was alive. Even if that meant taking the Black. As I didn't know if that would be enough to stay his wrath, I hid my family in the Riverlands, in the house to which we're headed now. I didn't want my wife and daughter to suffer on my behalf.
And what happened next?
I don't know any more than that. Once I joined the Night's Watch, I had to turn my back on all of them.
15 years and you don't know what happened? That's awful, Moors. So that's why we've come all the way here. You want to see your wife again?
I know what I'm doing. It's a quiet place, far from any roads or castles. No one will think of looking for us here.
We could have stopped somewhere else, but no. We had to march for hours and hours to go to the very place you left your wife. I don't hold it against you. 15 years without a word. If that had happened to me, I'd have gone mad. Besides, I really couldn't stand the north. I would much rather see your family. By the way, how old is your daughter now?
She must be barely older than you. Still, there's no guarantee that we'll find them in this cottage. Perhaps they went to the Eastern Isles, or maybe back home to the Westerlands. I hope so, for their sake.
And if that were the case, the Westerlands aren't far. We could go there too, if you like.
In truth, there's no way of knowing where they are. And in any case, it would be too dangerous for you. Besides, it's been so long that Serena has probably married another.
No, I really don't think so. I'm sure we'll find her in your cottage, and she'll be out of her mind with joy as soon as she sees you again. My mother often used to say that a cottage in the country is better than a hovel next to a palace.
Perhaps that life would suit you, but not me. I'm now a man of the Night's Watch, and I have a mission to see through. Once you're settled, I'll be off again to deal with the man who dared attack us at the wall. The best thing for you would be to leave Westeros. No one in the Free Cities will know who you are. Your enemies won't find you over there.
But what would I do? I can't even speak their language. Is there nowhere in Westeros where an ordinary girl can go unnoticed?
Perhaps, but we can't be sure. And I say, it's better to be safe than sorry.
You're probably right. This is all so complicated. Perhaps it would have been better if I'd never met King Robert.
How were things between you and Robert? When I knew him, he was always bedding women. But that was before he got married. Was it serious?
He loved me. But I wouldn't say it was serious. How do you know him?
I fought beside him during the rebellion. I seem to remember we called him the giant among princes. He made fun of everything and seemed invincible. I don't know what's become of him.
He's not invincible, that's for sure. He seems to be angry with everything and everyone. He laughs a lot, that's true. But he complains even more. When he was with me, he tried to make sure I had a good time. He was wild as a storm, always on the move, eating and shouting. I liked that. But not for a single moment did he let me think that I was important to him. He was the king, and I was just one of his whims. It's as though, for him, I was an excuse not to be somewhere else. I think that, deep down, he's sad. He doesn't enjoy his life.
I see. It's a rare thing for a man of any rank to have the life of his dreams. Well, it's late. You ought to try and get some rest.
I suppose you're right. Where is your dog? He made me fearful at first, but now it makes me calmer to know he's beside us.
I can well believe that.
Have you been together for long?
Yes, he's an old mutt. A bit like me. I found him north of the wall almost 10 years ago.
You've not told me his name. What's he called?
The Hound.
Oh, I see. Have I not told you about the first time I saw him? He was leaping for the throat of a young man in the woods of Mole's Town. A black brother, just like you. He was mumbling that he was sorry and that he had to flee south. He seemed scared of something. That was when your beast of a dog appeared suddenly out of the darkness and went at his throat.
Deserters are faced with death, which always comes soon enough. Poddy was trying to escape from the laws of the gift.
When your hound came out of nowhere, with his muzzle covered in fresh blood, I tried to run away as fast as I could without looking back. Until I realized he wasn't following me. That's when I felt that something wasn't quite right.
I was the one who ordered the dog to kill that deserter. Believe me, you were in no danger. My dog would never have attacked you.
But you weren't even there. How did he know what to do?
He's a clever dog. We've always known how to train them well in the Westford family.
All the same, I've never seen a dog trained like this.
Best if you get some sleep now. We've a long way to go, and I don't plan on carrying you.